My name is Jeremy Stand. I'm the owner of Stand Development and Consulting. I'm the lead consultant for Bright and Green. My role in the project is I'm the project's lead consultant, and actually, moreover, the project's lead documentation consultant. A lot of lead consultants will try to bring everything under their banner, commissioning and energy modeling. Bright and Green is kind of unique because they've been able to bring different aspects of the project through different consultants, which has actually made it a far more efficient project in terms of the construction management. They've been able to work together with a lot of the various sustainability programs and accomplish, rather than having multiple consultants doing the same job, they've been able to have just one that can satisfy the needs of multiple programs. So innovations that I'm directly involved in. LEED as a sustainability certification program has taken a lot of criticism for being almost a menu of options. You can choose a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B and put together something without it necessarily needing to be comprehensive. However, that's also the power of the system, because you can really tailor the certification to the requirements of the site. So what that means is that in terms of documentation, I touch upon a lot of the systems and the innovations across the project. So I haven't been involved directly in designing it, but everything from the site placement to the water efficiency and the energy efficiency, and particularly the indoor environmental quality, are all things that I'm involved in documenting, if not designing. I think Bright and Green is certainly an important step in our ongoing evolution in terms of what it means to be an urbanite and how we live together. I think for a long time the suburbs were seen as kind of the ideal in kind of quality of life, and now the pendulum seems to be swinging back the other way. And the density, the proximity of services, the walkability of neighborhoods are all becoming far more attractive to people, even that had once upon a time left the cities looking for more open spaces. So I think in terms of that, Bright and Green is very well situated for neighborhood services and amenities, transportation, and the fact that it will be an excellent building to live in is just one further step in showing how good urban living really can be. Bright and Green is probably at first glance, Bright and Green will, from the inside, appear to be similar to any other high-end condominium project that you might see. A lot of what's going on there is very much behind the scenes and not something that you're really going to be able to appreciate until you're in the building and have been living there. A lot of the systems, the rainwater harvesting, the solar panels and wind turbines, the high level of energy efficiency for the project, the light quality, the air quality, particularly the air quality inside the building, are things that they don't immediately jump out at you, but it is going to make Bright and Green a very comfortable place to live, a very healthy place to live. And I think what people will find is, as they're living there, they're not going to want to leave. And when they go to other places, they might not notice in their own apartment how good it is, but when they're out and about, they'll realize what other buildings can aspire to. I think Bright and Green will be a good neighbor in the immediate area. I think it will become just another part of the neighborhood fabric. And it's not something that seems hugely out of place. It's definitely a departure from the buildings in the neighborhood, but not one that sticks out as unpleasant or kind of detracting from neighborhood quality. It's a very good building, so I don't think it's going to have really any kind of negative impact. But again, it's not, a lot of the improvements are only going to be noticeable by the people that live there. It's not like there's a big neon sign, proclaiming what a great building it is. I think it'll fit in very well with the evolving neighborhood fabric and become a part of everyday life. I think we've already seen how Bright and Green has been able to be resilient through a changing climate. Superstorm Sandy, which hit that neighborhood very hard. I think there was a lot of concern how Bright and Green would fare, but it fared very well. The high levels of insulation and waterproofing, the fact that it was raised up above the level of the floodplain, all these things that were taken into account in the design made the building survive very well. I think the points of failure that it had were where it connected to the existing neighborhood infrastructure, and I think it only serves to highlight the fact that we need to spend more time and attention improving the city's infrastructure. Not focusing one building at a time, but on what underlies all of our buildings. As I said before, I think that there's an ongoing evolution in what it means to be an urbanite and the kind of things that cities can provide and should provide, and the level of service that people can get from living in more densely populated areas. So, an urban building revolution, I think there's definitely an evolution going on. I'm happy to be part of it. I think it makes sense that our buildings be as well constructed with an eye towards longevity and resilience. And so, sure. I don't know what to say about that. I can see myself living in either this one or a building very much like it. It's the kind of environment that I'd love to raise my kids in. My wife and son are both asthmatic, so living in a place that promotes indoor air quality is something that's very important. I think as somebody involved in creating these buildings, I understand that sustainability is more than just how the building is constructed, but the kind of life that it affords its residents. In terms of kind of long-term affordability and access to the rest of the city, things, amenities and services that people want. I think Bright and Green provides excellent access, excellent indoor air quality, and kind of financial sustainability for the people that move in there. And so, yeah, I would very much like to live in a place like that. So one of the innovations, and actually one of the innovation credits that this building is pursuing for LEED is enhanced indoor air quality. Indoor air quality is a focus for LEED anyway, and making sure that construction debris and dust do not stay in building systems is already a focus. But Bright and Green goes beyond that in terms of not only the levels of air filtration required, but also in providing additional air quality filtering in the kitchens, where research suggests that heated metal particles from cooking and from kitchen appliances stay in the air. And so there is additional filtering in the kitchens also to help protect from some of that.